This is Nasha Kasha, a Ukrainian almanac, 28 minutes of stories for everyone about Ukrainian life. Because of COVID-related travel restrictions, I've been staying pretty close to home here in London, Ontario. This is episode 251. It was recorded in Ottawa and in Montreal in July of 2019. I will provide an update.
40 minutes?
We are backstage at the Capital Ukrainian Festival in Ottawa. A singer simply known as Orysia and a bandura player and singer named Marina Krut are waiting to begin their set. This afternoon, their performance has been delayed. A heavy mid-July downpour has put the program on pause. In the interim, the audience escaped to a large tent beyond the concert seating area. The program does resume. Orysia and Marina are very well received.
Просимо.
Добрий день, мене звати Марина Крут.
Marina Krut from Ukraine. She's 23 years
Мій
old.
інструмент, який має назву бандура, і зараз мені 23, і я все ще продовжую.
She's played bandura for most of her life.
Я називаюся Orysia. I grew up on Ukrainian music with my father and my mom singing at dinner parties. My dad would play accordion. We would sing Ukrainian songs and my brother would join in. This was in Edmonton, Alberta, where I grew up. My brother and I, we were in choir as well, so we sang harmonies together, and my parents would often encourage us to perform. So my mother was born in Edmonton, but my father was born in Laza. It's just outside the border of Ukraine on the Polish side. He came to Canada in his early 20s, and then my mother's roots are Ukrainian as well. Her grandmother was born in grandparents were born in Ukraine.
Власне, я не маю нікого у Канаді, окрім Орисі.
I have no family in Canada. My grandparents grew up and lived their entire lives in a little
Вони
village.
були всі дуже прості сільські люди. Вони народилися і померли в селі, власне.
Her mother would move to a city called Khmelnytsky.
Моя мама, власне, тільки переїхала до рідного міста, який має назву Хмельницький.
She herself was born in Khmelnytsky.
І, власне, там народилась я.
Khmelnytsky is 250 kilometers from the city of Lviv in western Ukraine.
Тобто ми можемо говорити, що це Західна Україна. Ближче до Західної – центральної України, щось поміж посередині.
I'm from West Central Ukraine. My mother loved to sing. My father played the
Моя
guitar.
мама дуже добре співає, а мій тато грає на гітарі. Дуже аматорськи, все абсолютно. Мама співає тільки тоді, коли миє посуду, власне, коли миє посуд. Але так сталося, що нікого не було музикантів в сім'ї, але я мала велике
While no one in my family played a musical instrument professionally, I wanted to play one from childhood.
Першого разу я почула цей інструмент.
She was 8 years old at the time.
8. Я почула бандуру.
She heard a young woman playing the bandura at a village community center.
Я почула там дівчину, яка грала на Івана Купала, вона грала народну пісню. І я думаю, що це, в принципі, мені заклалось всередину.
Within a year, I was playing.
Рік я почала грати на цьому інструменті.
Both my parents, apparently I was singing before, I don't know, they said I was singing before I was speaking. My dad was in choir and he was doing vocal warm-ups, and apparently I was trying to mimic him as a baby. I took piano first, classical piano, for about 8 or 9 years, and then I fell in love with the guitar. I started writing on guitar when I was 16, and I fell in love with it.
Я почала навчання, коли мені було 8. Я пішла до музичної школи і захотіла грати на цьому інструменті, власне, але я думала, що є арфа.
She met her music teacher when she was 8 years old, and she asked her if she could learn to play the harp. That's what she thought she saw in the village. They told her, well, we have no harps here, but here's a bandura. And she said, seeing it, oh, that's the instrument I saw.
Це була жінка, яка зробила дуже багато бандуристів, які є зараз концертуючих на Україні. Це наш.
Her teacher was famous for producing banduras players who perform on a very high
Її звати
level.
Кубасіста Марія Омелянівна.
Her name, Maria Kubasista.
І так.
I mean, I took classical piano, but for guitar, I was self-taught, and the piano background really helped me. And I think because I took classical piano, it was very structured, and I didn't feel very creative to express on it. But when I had the guitar, I felt like I could play around with it, and I started really developing and writing songs.
When did reggae enter into your repertoire?
Oh, well, I always loved Bob Marley and Marcia Griffiths, but I also loved a lot of blues and soul, Etta James, Jimi Hendrix, Led Zeppelin and stuff like that. When I was like starting to play, I was doing a lot of those kind of covers. And then I traveled to California in my late teens, and I totally fell in love with reggae. I stumbled across this actually 3-day reggae festival, and somebody gave me a ticket. And I didn't really know that much about reggae, and it was 3 days full on just reggae music, and that entered my soul, and it captivated me, and I started writing in reggae after that. And the more I listened to it, the more I actually loved it more.
Oresha, Gerald Thomas. Your eyes, your smile, your style, yeah. Think I'm gonna stay a little longer.
У вашому окруженні на Україні чи регgae, рокстері були популярні жанри музики?
У нас, напевно, більше рок популярний в Україні, ніж регі. Ми маємо не так багато, в принципі, регі-сцени, не так багато регі-індустрії.
Marina says that rock is more popular in Ukraine than the genre that is reggae.
Це українська культура, власне, та через те в нас немає інтегровано багато цього.
We have a few reggae artists in Ukraine, but they're not integrated into our general music scene.
Ми всі любимо і поважаємо.
We love it, we respect it, and we love to dance to reggae.
Your eyes, your smile, your style, yeah. Think I'm gonna stay a little longer. Each day, the feeling getting stronger.
Your eyes, your vibe, your mind.
Yeah.
Each day we spend the feeling getting stronger. I think I'm gonna stay a little longer.
Я виросла на класичній музиці.
I grew up with classical music.
Але одного часу у мене стався перелом.
I was 15 when jazz entered my
Мені
life.
було 15, і в моє життя прийшов джаз.
Last night you woke me up. The sleep was see. The soul was sleeping out. It's even waiting for something to come. Last night I woke you up. Looking at you is endless eyes. But didn't I know you wanted to hear my songs, my songs.
І після того я зрозуміла, що
And so it was that I realized I wanted to sing jazz or soul or something in between.
альбом, і я надію, що наступні роботи це буде більше world music.
My next projects will probably involve world music.
Повертаюсь до свого коріння, мені
Just as Oresia returns to her roots, I'm interested in broadly based, very deep world music.
музика різних.
With world music, I try to dig deeper than pop music, especially the pop music that they feed us at home in Ukraine.
Насправді, я думаю, що паттерни в музиці,
Classical, reggae, pop, rock, there's a common pattern to them.
музиці і в поп, і в рок, і в джаз. Там ми маємо стандартні паттерни.
I try to find this pattern
Власне, по цим
to
паттернам
create something authentic of my own
є автентичне, знайти свою ідентичність у музиці.
through my musical instrument, the bandura.
My songs.
How did you come to bring your reggae style to Ukraine?
Ти признайся мені, звідки в тебе ті чари.
I went to a family reunion a couple years ago, and it really was heartwarming and touching to meet some of my family and discover some of my roots. So I decided I really, really want to come back and record an album in Ukraine. I got introduced through the internet through Marina and some other fantastic musicians out there that were already playing some reggae. It was a great opportunity, so I jumped on it.
Червону руту не шукай вечорами. Ти у мене єдиний, тільки ти повір. Бо твоя врода, то є чистая вода, то є бистрая вода, синий хвиль. Бачу я тебе в снах,
just to be there and have that tangibility of being in Ukraine and experiencing and living the culture and breathing the air and tasting the different food and also the musicians as well.
Це було дуже фантастично.
It was fantastic that Orisia came to Ukraine. It's Orisia's story that really teaches me something.
У неї, в принципі, не є такий величезний бекграунд український. Тобто вона не народилась в Україні.
She wasn't born in Ukraine, nor was her mother born in Ukraine.
І з таким коліном робити музику і повертатися, власне, до цієї.
She came there, she returned to those roots, to those beginnings.
Ототожнення того, щоб пізнати себе насправді, розкрити себе і зрозуміти, хто ти є.
It is the essence of recognizing who you yourself are.
Спочатку я думала, що насправді цей альбом.
At first I thought, well, she could have recorded this album, this Ukrainian album in Canada.
Мені не вистачає України. І наскільки сильно
But I know now that I can't get enough of Ukraine when I'm away from it.
до Канади, перші 15 хвилин я відчувала просто повітря цієї країни.
When I came to Canada for the first time, for the first 15 minutes, I literally breathed Canada in.
Коли ця музика проходить крізь повітря цієї країни.
When music passes through the air of a country, that is when you truly create the best work. Now that you've collaborated, are you going your separate ways? Will you continue to play together?
Now that we've made the connection and we have played together, I think we can build on that. I know definitely I will be back in Ukraine, and I'm sure Marina will come back to Canada.
Marina is also working on an album.
Це буде EP, то буде маленький альбом.
It'll be an extended play. It'll be experimental. It'll be her third step along the way to finding her ideal sound.
Того ж самого пошуку ідеального звуку.
Дуже гарно було вас запізнати. Always good to see you.
Yes, thank you very much. Дуже дякуємо.
Дякую дуже.
Distant places, yet I can feel the heart beating through mine. Noble faces and generations, weaving through the hands of time. Strength that stood before me, echoing sounds of freedom. Wind that sings the story, sending shivers right through me. Going back to my roots, roots, roots. Raíces. Going back to my roots, roots, roots.
I caught up with Orisia last week.
I've been doing okay. It's been a long winter. I usually go to the tropics to do some music and touring. And this year I chose to stay in Canada and work on music. So trying to stay positive and warm in this winter, but things are okay. Things are okay. And just keeping healthy and keeping my mind joyful. I've been promoting my new album. For those of you who have heard it, Corinia, and I'm really, really happy with how it's going. It's charting in Ukraine on mainstream radio. So I'm super grateful for that. It's also been charting on world stations in Canada and even hit #1. You can find me on Bandcamp. Music goes on, life goes on. So I did some shows online with Taste of the Caribbean, Reggae Cultural International Symposium, and to also the Taras Shevchenko Festival. The summer is not 100% clear, though I hope to return to a lot of the Ukrainian festivals. Well, reggae is the music of positive vibrations and positive transformation. So if you're in a funk or you're feeling a bit down, you can put on some reggae music, and that will definitely help you feel better. I actually wake up and dance first thing in the morning, and I love it because I put on my music, sometimes with headphones if it's early, and I just give her, and it just gets me moving, it gets my heart beat up, I'm sweating, and I'm awake. I am releasing a new single highlighting from my album, Zakohana, and it's about long-distance love, but it's one of my favorite songs on the album. I'm releasing that on March 22nd. I really hope that you enjoy it. Please connect with me on social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube. Let's keep in touch. You can check out my shows for the summer. I think I'm going to post them more in April on my website, auresia.com, which is AURESIA. Дуже дякую.
Birds, you'll fly away, and they always know where to return. Maybe you will understand just why it does my heart still yearn.
Nasha Kasha comes to you from Radio Western 94.9 FM on the campus of Western University in London, Ontario, Canada. We're heard on CHMR 93.5 FM in St. John's, Newfoundland, on CKDU 88.1 FM in Halifax, on Local 107.3 FM in St. John, New Brunswick, on CJAS Radio 93.5 FM in Saint Augustine, Quebec, on CJLO 1690 AM in Montreal, on CFRC 101.9 FM in Kingston, on CFMU 93.3 FM in Hamilton, on CKMS 102.7 FM in Kitchener-Waterloo, on CJAM 99.1 FM in Windsor and Detroit, on CKLU 96.7 FM in Sudbury, on CILU 102.7 FM in Thunder Bay, on 101.5 UMFM in Winnipeg, on CJTR 91.3 FM in Regina, on CFMQ 98.1 FM in Hudson Bay, Saskatchewan, on CFBX 92.5 FM in Kamloops, on CJSF 90.1 FM in Vancouver, and on CHLY 101.7 FM in Nanaimo, British Columbia.
Thank you, Deputy.
In Montreal's East End, Parc Beaubien on the last day of July resounds with dog park greetings, squeaky sneakers, bouncing tennis balls. 2 blocks to the east at the Ukrainian Youth Association Hall, I meet with 2 members of the trio Rosa.
Hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, Natalia.
Приємно. Hi, my name's Natalia Bedik, and I'm part of Rosa.
What do you sing in Rosa? Which voice?
I mostly sing alto, but we switch around all the time, depending on, sometimes I'd like to sing soprano, depending on what song we're singing.
Hi, my name is Sonia Kulecka, and I'm a member of Rosa, and I usually sing soprano, but like Natalia said, we tend to switch around to keep our range as optimal as possible.
We're sitting in the Sumioska Dumilka in Montreal. Can you tell me about your roots, your upbringing?
I went to Ukrainian school in Montreal. I graduated from Ukrainian school. I've lived my whole life in Montreal. I love Montreal. I have a younger brother. He's 5 years younger than I, but we're very close. You know, I went through 11 years of Ukrainian school and I graduated successfully, and I'm proud of myself for giving up those Saturday mornings to be.
I think I saw you wince a little bit when you were talking.
There's good memories too, for sure.
How about yourself?
I'm born and raised in Montreal, so are my parents. I also graduated from the same Ukrainian school as her. That's where we became friends, and we started singing actually in Ukrainian school. Her mother was our Ukrainian school singing coach, and she kind of picked us out from the kids in the class and formed this little group of about seven girls. And then over the years, it became 4 of us, and then we were...
Did you uninvite them?
Well, some just lost interest over the years. Some people just didn't want to perform on stage as much as we did. So.
Why the name Rosa? How did that come about?
We came up with it because we wanted something that was unique, and I think Rosa kind of stands for nature and freshness, if you will.
What does the word mean?
Yeah, well, it means the dew, direct translation, but it means that we're fresh, we're new. Like, we'll take some older songs that her mother kindly picks up for us. Sometimes we choose our own, but when it comes to like these really vintage Ukrainian songs, like we would never find them without her. And then we kind of put a little bit of our own twist on it.
Should I have been interviewing your mother? I mean, is she kind of the background?
She definitely found us, if you will. We were best friends in kindergarten at Ukrainian school, and then she just kind of noticed, oh, all of them can kind of sing. Let's start something. But then really we've taken it to this point ourselves with a lot of help from all of our parents, of course, but I think we really chose to pursue it because we just love singing, we love performing together, and so it's definitely our parents that kind of formed it and made it happen, but I'd say we put in a lot of work as well to get where we are today.
How do you know you're good enough to perform?
Well, at first, we only performed at Ukrainian school events where everyone at Ukrainian school performs. So I think there were no requirements for that kind of performance. But
was it a tough audience singing in front of the other kids?
Oh, definitely a very tough audience. Once we got older, people reached out to us to perform. So we just went with it and we started choosing our own songs, coming up with new things ourselves. And that's when we kind of really became Rosa.
Can you give me just a little bit of a rundown of your history?
I think officially as a trio, because, as Natalia said, we started off as 7 girls, but that was when we were in Ukrainian school. After we branched out, we started performing at the Montreal Ukrainian Festival for sure. Then we went to the Toronto Ukrainian Festival. We won Best Performance in the youth category the first year we were there. We've sung in Albany, Yonkers, New York. We've sung at weddings. We were part of the documentary called Spivanka, produced by Heart and Soul Media. We've also come out with our CD. We've performed also in the English community as well. We've performed at hockey games like Ukrainian hockey tournaments, singing the anthems, things like that. The thing that drives us the most is our love for singing and performing and the fact that we're best friends. And I think that as long as we want to keep singing and performing, as long as that's what makes us happy, then for sure. Honestly, our friend Nina recently joined the group, and we had our first performance with her in Yonkers. And, by the way, her grandfather was Cecil Simchishin, a very famous opera singer in Winnipeg. And we had never performed live together, but it went really, really well. And we honestly had such good chemistry, such a good dynamic, and a friendship that has come out of it.
What is it that people remember about Rosa when they leave a concert?
I think we like to take some songs that everyone knows and some songs that maybe you wouldn't know, and we like to add unique harmonies to them. When people hear us, they just remember, oh, like they really did something different there with that song.
Any final thought that you'd like to leave?
I think that you should never, ever let anybody's negativity and, ill wishes or whatever issues they're going through in their lives bring you down and hold you back.
It's a lot of work, and it's so much fun. If you're passionate about it, it won't really feel like work, but you do have to realize that you need to make a lot of time for that passion if you really want to go for it.
Mamko moja, ne laj meni. Mamko moja, ne laj meni.
That was our interview in 2019. Here's Rosa in 2021, beginning with their newest member.
Hi, this is Nina Simchishin, and I am currently in Winnipeg, Manitoba. I'm studying public relations at Humber College in Toronto, Ontario. As we are living in a virtual world and learning through a virtual classroom, it has given me the opportunity to be able to go back home and be around family a little bit longer and my parents' new dog, Zubchik. Whereas in a pre-pandemic world, those visits back home would be quite limited. Your home is now your workplace, and your your classroom. It's difficult trying to motivate yourself and be accountable for your work. But I think, we've now been able to learn a lot about those challenges and obstacles and how to overcome them. And thankfully, with the technology that we have, the three of us still have been able to perform in some sense. And it's been able to give us an opportunity to at least do things virtually. We definitely miss singing all together in person. Definitely looking forward to that.
This is Sonia Kulitsky from Montreal. What a year it has been. I'm currently in medical school at the University of Montreal, and it is really strange doing everything online, such as meeting my professors and fellow classmates all through a Zoom screen rather than in person. As much as I appreciate staying in my pajamas longer in the mornings, I'm really excited for things to start going back to normal, especially when it comes to singing and performing. We're really looking forward to all the upcoming festivals, even though it's difficult to say when they will officially be held again. During the lockdown, we participated in the Berlin Ukrainian Music Festival, and we actually won the Grand Prix in our age category. We have also done some covers that we posted online on our Facebook page. We're going to start working on some new material very soon, and we cannot wait to see everyone from the stage once again in the hopefully near future.
Hi, this is Natalia Bedick in Montreal. I'm currently at Concordia University in sociology. We had the opportunity to actually do some virtual performances, which was really, really cool. We got to perform at the Montreal Ukrainian Festival, the virtual festival. We also got to perform at the virtual Toronto Ukrainian Festival. I really, really hope we do get to perform this summer. I'm really looking forward to it. We all miss it so much, so that's what we hope for the future.
Nasha Kasha is also a podcast. There's an easy way to access it for free. Go to nashakasha.libsyn.com. Nasha Kasha is one word. Libsyn is spelled LIBSYN.com. nashakasha.libsyn.com. New Pathway Ukrainian News delivers news and insight every week in English and Ukrainian. Subscribe today at newpathway.ca. Partial funding for Nasha Kasha comes from the Taras Shevchenko Foundation and the Ukrainian Credit Union. I'm your reporter Stefan Andrusiak. Back in a week, God willing. До милої зустрічі. За тиждень часу, дорогі слухачі.